Good evening. Welcome to News Stories on Omalicha Radio 91.1 FM, your number one development radio station. I am Rosemary Mwabase Ibebu. The headlines: Photo Aid controversy rekindles debate on university autonomy. Renewed calls for PVC registration intensify ahead of elections. Imo State Police arrest 12 suspected kidnappers, caught members. NUT suspends Oyo teacher strike. Direct resumption today. And 4 Venezuelan officers held for alleged looting during earthquake rescue effort. Now the news in details. A senior lecturer in the Department of Polymer Engineering at the Federal University of Technology, Owerri Futo, engineer Dr. Nnamdi Ihaturu, has said the controversy surrounding the appointment and subsequent withdrawal of 24 special advisors by the university's vice-chancellor has rekindled discussions on university administration and institutional autonomy. Speaking with Omalicha FM's correspondent, Venice Valentine, Dr. Ihaturu described the appointment of 8 by Vice-Chancellor as a normal administrative practice aimed at improving efficiency and effective governance. He explained that no Vice-Chancellor can single-handedly oversee every aspect of a university's operation, making it necessary to appoint trusted individuals to provide support, monitor development within the institutions, and ensure prompt response to issues affecting staffs and students.
The vice chancellor will not be here and there, will not be everywhere. He has to use people to work, and then I believe it's meant to help him have his ears on the ground and know what people expect from him. I mean, what the staff and students. And then him being able to respond timely and then appropriately in order to tackle whatever problems that may arise. So it's meant to actually help the vice chancellor.
While, ac- while acknowledging the concerns generated by the appointment, the university lecturer stressed that the real issue should not be the appointment themselves, but the caliber of those selected. According to him, only competent, experienced, and trustworthy individuals who can provide sound professional advice should be entrusted with such responsibilities, as their recommendations could significantly influence the administration's decision and overall progress in the institution.
The problem should be, or the most important thing should be the person who is being appointed for such a role. Is it someone that meant to provide? The problem should be, or the most important thing should be.
Dr. Hiatu emphasized the need to uphold university autonomy, describing it as a long-standing demand of staff unions, including the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and Non-Academic Staff Union of Education and Associated Institutions, NASU, the National Association of Academic Technologists, NAT. He noted that although the laws establishing Nigerian universities guarantee institutional autonomy, the principle is often undermined in practice through external interference. Universities, he added, should be allowed empowered to manage their affairs independently, generate internal revenue, and strengthen research, innovation, and development, while government support should focus more on scholarships, research grants, and empowerment rather than excess administrative control.
University Autonomy, the unions, not only as both the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria University, SANU, NASU, NAT, the unions in the universities. They've been fighting for university autonomy. It's always one of their demands during the struggle, whenever they go on strike and all that. So university autonomy should be enshrined in the acts establishing the universities, or more so. But in practice, some of these things are breached. You still see the government trying to direct or dictate what happens, because they feel that major funding is coming from them. So university autonomy actually is what the universities need to operate optimally, to operate to full capacity, so that they will be self-reliant. They will go out and they make the money they have to make to run the university. University shouldn't be only government funding. Government funding can come by way of scholarship, endowments, and other and research too. But in terms of IGR, autonomy is what the universities need to optimize.
Dr. Iheanacho maintained that greater institutional autonomy would enable Nigerian universities to operate more efficiently, improve their financial sustainability, and deliver quality education in line with global best practices. As the deadline for voter registration draws closer, renewed calls have been made for residents of Imo State and other eligible Nigerians to obtain their permanent voter's card and actively participate in the electoral process ahead of the forthcoming elections. Speaking on the theme, Beyond Criticism, while the journey to good governance begins with the PVC during a special edition of Center Stage on Omalicha 91.1 FM Owerri, Reverend Dr. Obina Nwoko, a lecturer at the Imo State University, IMSU, said political participation is the foundation of accountability and good governance. Reverend Nwoko called on religious leaders across the state to use their platform to promote civic responsibility and political awareness. He urged them to encourage citizens to choose competent and credible leaders based on merit rather than political party affiliation or personal interest. Meaningful development. Reverend Dr. Nwoko said can only be achieved when citizens take an active role in the democratic process, stressing that obtaining a permanent voter's card is the first step towards influencing leadership and public policy. Reverend Nwoko reiterated that while citizens have the right to demand better governance, they must also fulfill their civic responsibility by registering to vote, collecting their PVCs, and participating in elections. He said greater voter participation is essential to strengthening democracy and ensuring that elected leaders remain accountable to the people. The Nigerian Police Force in Imo State Command has arrested 12 suspects over alleged kidnapping, cultism, murder, and other violent crimes during separate intelligence-led operations across the state. 3 kidnapped victims were also rescued unarmed. The police public relations officer, DSP Henry Okoye, said the operations were carried out under the leadership of the Commissioner of Police, CP Audu Gabo Boso, in collaboration with other security agencies, local vigilante groups, and community stakeholders. According to the police, the rescue operation followed the abduction of 5 passengers from a commuter bus along Obokofia Road in Egbema and the kidnapping of another victim in New Owerri on June 27, 2026. Acting on intelligence operative raided a suspected kidnapper hideout in Obokofia, Ohaji, Egbema local government area on 30th of June, rescuing 3 victims and arresting 7 suspects while others escaped and are being tracked. In a separate operation, police arrested 5 suspected corps members during an investigation into a court-related killing based on the suspect's confession. Operatives recovered the decomposing body of an unidentified man allegedly killed during the court initiation. Investigations are ongoing to identify the victim and apprehend other fleeing suspects. The command also recovered one AK-47 rifle, 2 locally made double-barrel guns, 4 locally made pistols, live cartridges, 2 vehicles, 3 motorcycles, a generator, and 8 branded Colt caps. CP Bozo reaffirmed the command's commitment to sustaining intelligence-led operations against violent crimes and urged residents to continue providing credible information to support security efforts across the state. The senator representing Imo North Senatorial District, Patrick Chiuba Ndubueze, has expressed sympathy to traders and business owners affected by the recent fire outbreaks at Eke Okigwe Market, describing the incident as painful and heartbreaking. In a statement issued through his senior special advisor on media, Prince Uwalaka, Senator Ndubueze said the inferno will cause significant losses to hardworking traders whose business and means of livelihood were destroyed. The fire, which occurred in the early hours of Sunday, razed several shops and goods worth millions of naira at the popular market, leaving many traders counting their losses and disrupting commercial activities. He acknowledged the resilience of the Eke Okigwe trading community, describing the market as a major economic hub for Okigwe zone, and encouraged affected traders not to lose hope, assuring them that they are not alone during this difficult period. The senator called on relevant emergency management agencies and government authorities to carry out a thorough assessment on the damage and provide timely intervention and support for the victims. He also appealed to community leaders, corporate organizations, humanitarian groups, and public-spirited individuals to assist the affected traders in rebuilding their business. The Nigerian Union of Teachers (NUT) has suspended its strike across public schools in Oyo State, directing teachers to resume work today. This followed renewed engagement with the state government and assurance of improved security after the abduction of teachers and pupils in Orile local government area of the state. In a statement on Wednesday, jointly signed by the union's Oyo State Chairman Hassan Ajibola Fatai and Secretary Olukayode Salami, the union said the decision followed a directive from its national leadership after reviewing the security situations and considering appeals from the Oyo State government and other key stakeholders. The NUT said it remains committed to protecting the welfare and safety of teachers while urging the government to fulfill its promises to strengthen security in schools and prevent future incidents. The union also called on its members to return to their duty posts as directed while continuing to monitor the implementation of the government commitments. Fuel marketers have warned that filling stations across the country could suspend petrol sales if the federal government attempts to impose price controls on the product, escalating tensions over the implementation of the downstream petroleum regulation policy. The National Publicity Secretary of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Chinedu Ukadike, issued the warning on Tuesday while reacting to comments by the Minister of State of Petroleum Resources, Heineken Lokpobiri that government would not tolerate profiteering or other practices that exploit consumers. The minister had on Monday, while speaking at the 2026 General Council and Legal Advisors Forum organized by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority in Abuja, stressed that while the era of government-fixed petroleum prices has ended, the regulation did not mean regulators could abandon their responsibilities to protect consumers from unfair market practices. His remarks come amid renewed public concerns over persistent fuel price fluctuation and allegations of arbitrary pricing by some filling stations, while the government insisting that consumer protection remains a key priority even on the deregulated market. You're listening to the news on Omalicha Radio 91.1 FM Owerri. More when we come back from the break. I'm Rosemary Mwabasi Ibebu. Stay with us.
When news breaks, Omalicha 91.1 breaks in. Wait.
Welcome back. You're still listening to the news on Omalicha Radio 91.1 FM Owerri. I'm Rosemary Mwabasi Ibebu. On the international scene, 4 Venezuela police officers have been arrested and dismissed after they were accused of looting valuables from buildings destroyed, while last week's devastating earthquakes further fueling public anger over government response to the disaster. The officers attached to Venezuela's Criminal Investigation Agency, CICPC, allegedly stole cash, including US dollars, from the rubble of collapsed buildings in La Guira, one of the areas hardest hit by earthquakes. The arrest came after videos circulated on social media showing residents confronting the officers during the alleged theft. Authorities said the officers have been removed from service and will face criminal prosecutions if found guilty. The incident has heightened public frustration, with survivors accusing some security personnel of taking advantage of the chaos instead of helping victims. Residents have also complained about delays in aid delivery, while volunteers and rescue teams continue searching through the debris for survivors. The earthquakes, which struck northern Venezuela last week, have left more than 2,295 people dead and over 10,000 others injured, according to official figures. Thousands have also been displaced, with many communities still lacking adequate food, clean water, shelter, and medical supplies as rescue and relief operations continue. The arrests come amid growing scrutiny of the government disaster response, as grieving families and local communities demand greater accountability and